I apologize for being late, you all. I'm super late, but let's just jump right into it. Let's just jump right into it. Now, I don't know if you all remember, uh, you know, a couple of years ago when I said that, normally it would take years for folks to get exposed. It would take maybe even a lifetime. You see, before 2020, folks would get exposed usually in their death. I'm talking about prominent people. Now you see these folks getting exposed in real time. Now I want you to just think about this for a second. I want you to think about how many folks you all have seen exposed just in the last 3 years. Because 2020 was the year of clear vision, perfect sight. Um, so in 2020, we got clarity. In 2020, the truth was revealed. So they talk about seals in the Bible. I don't know if it was a seal, but something was opened up to where the truth was made available to everyone. And what we see is all of these folks getting exposed left and right. Just think about Obama. Think about all this information that's been hidden in for years. And then now, post 2020, everybody's getting exposed. So, so I want to get started. Um, Today is not entitled, it's not a part of the Man of Faith series. Today is entitled Another One Bites the Lust, a Brother Polight story. Now, most of your esoteric Black leaders, Black conscious leaders, they already have a spirit of lust on them because they tell you that power corrupts. And so, as I've said before, if a person isn't developing themselves to be able to lead, then they're going to be a person that spreads chaos, death, and destruction. Most of these Black people that you all see that are calling themselves leaders of the Black community or appointing themselves, they're usually people of low character. Because like I said before, you have to be out of your mind to want to lead Black people. You have to be almost insane because leading Black people is a task that's probably going to end in your demise. We saw this happen with many folks that we claimed want to lead Black people. We saw it happen with Moses, even with the Messiah. He was even strung up because of he didn't want to meet the demands of the people. And those demands are decadence, death, destruction, and damnation. Brother, let me say my what's up, Stody. Y'all say what's up. Hold on. What's up, Ross Whitty? What's going on? Teach him Chuck, what's up? Jahan, what's going on? Thanks for the super sticker. Orendi, for real, what's up? Patrick Chi, what's up? Jahan, what's up again? Mika, Ev Deman L, what's up? Danny Nightblade 45, what's up? Ansi, what's up? Anna Valisa, Dragonfly, what's up? Neek, what's up? Yeah, Brother Polight said he worships Black women, but these men say this because they're sexual deviants. So usually when let me give y'all tell y'all. So usually when a man is a sexual deviant, he praises women because he knows that he's very demonic when it comes to his lust for women or whatever. So when you hear men talking about good morning queen or I worship Black women or Black women as God, they're usually whoremongers and womenizers because it makes what they're doing seem not so bad. So you see him praising Black women all the time. When he's running through them, you won't question it as harshly. But again, it's because most Black esoteric people are they're just demons. I mean, I'm sorry to say it. Thank you, Jahan, for the super sticker again. Congratulations to Neek. She passed her real estate exam yesterday. Congratulations to Neek. If we could, we give you a clap, a hand clap, celebration, but we're going to celebrate you for a minute on this live. But congratulations to Neek Speaks for passing her California real estate exam. Yeah, it really is some slick pimp talk, but these men are really sexual deviants. And they're sexual deviants because the esoteric sciences, Black consciousness, Black divinity, it doesn't deal with character. It deals with entitlement. It deals with melanin. It deals with genetics. It deals with the stars. It deals with the Ankh. It deals with Chris. It doesn't deal with character. So you can pretty much be a deviant and it don't even matter. You heard Bobby Hemmett say you can kill somebody and it's okay. Like you heard. So again, these Black esoteric people tell themselves all the time, but Black folks follow them because they don't deal with character. Black people don't like Candace Owens because Candace Owens holds Black folks accountable. Like that's why Black folks don't like Black conservatives because Black conservatives aren't under the Black spell. A lot of them aren't. So they'll point out the hypocrisy in what Black folks are doing. That's why they don't like them. They don't like Officer Tatum. They don't like Chad O. Jackson. They don't like Cheecham Chuck. They don't like Keisha King. They don't like people that aren't under the Black spell because when you're under the Black spell, you'll let decadence fly. And we know that Black men have excuses. So if a Black man has an excuse, that means he will always justify poor behavior. It's just what it is. It's the nature of the average Black man. He's going to justify poor behavior. So when it comes to messing with underage girls or boys, when it comes to scamming the people, when it comes to being a deviant, it doesn't really matter because it's the white man's fault. The white man made me like this, so I can't even be judged that harshly. But let's continue with some of these videos. The 20 twin. Another 20 twin. But let's listen to the horse's mouth.
In abundance. The mother and the daughter and the prosecution dropped.
No.
Blessings in abundance. The mother.
Dang, man. Let me see if I can find it on YouTube. I don't know why this video doesn't have any sound to it. Wow. Let me see. Now a lot of Black men will be defending Brother Polight because they want the same grace. They want to be able to they want to, here we go. I found it. Here we go. What in the world is going on? Oh shoot. My bad, y'all. I had my computer muted. My bad. Okay, I'm sorry. Here we go.
And the daughter and the prosecution. Blessings in abundance. The mother and the daughter and the prosecution dropped every single sexual charge. I'm saying it again. The mother, the daughter, my accusers, in addition to the state, the prosecution, all agreed they need to drop all of the sexual charges. So yeah, it's a victory, but it's bittersweet. It's a victory because I was facing life. No parole, no probation. Now you may say, how could this be possible if a minor was so-called molested and there was DNA evidence? And people say DNA don't lie. And I always said, people do. Well, let's do this. The serologist, the expert that so-called found 6 semen stains amongst a headscarf and a t-shirt. Never mind the fact the whole rape kit said negative, negative, negative. They checked this girl for 5 different types of DNA, finger DNA, all types of different DNA. Checked her vagina, checked her mouth, checked her saliva, checked her excrement, checked her feces, Checked her urine, everything came up negative. You would think because of all the violent acts I was accused of, how I came inside of her, how I came on her face, how I bust her mouth open from penetrating her so physically.
Now, I'm going to tell you like this again. I always make this statement, Black people lie. And I say that because when Black people are talking and they're spilling their guts, people think they're telling the truth. This is all programming and propaganda. Black people lie. So just because Brother Polight is saying this, he's automatically believed to be telling the truth, but he's not. He's not. Black people lie. Now somebody's going to say, well, Blanche, everybody lies. Yeah, everybody else don't get the benefit. When a white person is talking, you don't say they're telling the truth. Like Black people have the social benefit of when they get on camera and start crying or talking loudly, people assume they're telling the truth. And it's all theatrics. It's all theatrics. And if anybody grew up in a Black neighborhood, anybody grew up in the hood, if you grew up in a Black neighborhood, you get lied to at least 10 times a day. If you grow up in a Black neighborhood, you get lied to at least 10 times a day, starting in your own home. This is what it is. So Black people lie. Make no mistakes about it. So when I see Black folks on TV or on a podcast or on a live stream and talk, I'm automatically going to assume you're lying because Black folks lie. Here's what it is. People can get mad at me, what they say, but it is what it is. But so Brother Polight has said they dropped all the sexual charges. But again, most folks accuse me of getting this information out of thin air. And I always go to the source. I don't use the articles. I go to the people themselves because most people tell on themselves. They're going to tell you. Most people, spiritually, how God made us, they're going to, that's why most serial killers always leave a clue to get caught. Most serial killers tell on themselves because when God created us, God did not create us to sin. So there's certain things about your makeup that won't allow you to just do stuff and just not, have no kind of accountability. You're going to leave some kind of clue. You're going to drop some kind of gem. This is how God made us. God did not make us to be sinful creatures. So when we're sinning, we are way out of alignment with what God intended. But let's continue.
That there would be some kind of trace of something, some kind of DNA, but the rape kit came up all negative. So now we're in a conundrum. So how the hell how does the DNA just skip to a t-shirt and a headscarf? Well, the serologist that did the report that labeled it semen stains, when you got high-powered attorneys such as myself, then what happens is when you spend damn near 200 grand on your defense, you have the right to do depositions. We have our own private investigator. We have our own, guess what, forensics expert. So our forensics expert said this. Our forensics expert said, we want to take a look and see what's going on over there. So when our forensics expert took a look and examined these so-called clothes with...
Now what this is a tactic right here. We call this stalling, where somebody just talking, giving you all this stuff, all this technical stuff, because they're setting you up for the end. Again, you look out for things like this. When you see people running their mouth, they're trying to get you to lower your guard and receive what they're going to say. So now Brother Polight is talking all this stuff about the semen, the headscarf, my attorneys, DNA, depositions, all this stuff. But I assure you he's getting somewhere as he's rocking a Christian Dior headscarf. He's conscious, he's a god, but he's wearing the white man's expensive clothing. Okay, let's go.
Semen stains. We had some questions about how did you definitively conclude that was semen in the first damn place? So guess what happens after that? A deposition is when we interview anybody that's part of the situation, whether it be the mother, the daughter, the people who took the 911 call, whoever. The prosecutor gets to sit in while we interview them, while there's a court-appointed stenographer that types up everything. The prosecutor can hear everything as it goes so they can make a determining factor if they got a case or not. Point in case, we couldn't interview the serologist, Stephanie Thompson, because she mysteriously disappears when we want to question her about how she came up with those results. I'll say it again. The person who said that there was semen stains on the headscarf and the shirt, despite the fact the rape kit tested for 5 different DNAs, considering the egregious acts that I was accused of, the rape kit came up all negative, which science would suggest I did absolutely none of the things that I was accused of. Science would suggest I did absolutely none of the things that I was accused of. Okay?
Now, notice what he said. He said that science would suggest I didn't do any of the things that I was accused of. This is a very slick play on words. He said it's just how Satan talks. Satan didn't say he didn't do it. He said science would suggest I didn't do it. You got to be very careful. Now, most black folks are emotional. Most black people are under this spell. Most black folks are emotional and they don't do critical thinking very well. They don't comprehend very well. So to the average black person, this sounds legit. They're not going to catch these subtle nuances in conversation. Because when you're black, it dumbs down your intelligence. Because being black is being controlled. So when you're black, most of your thinking is done for you. So when you see somebody black and they're crying, you just say, okay, it must be racism. You're already pre-programmed. The only way to really see all the stuff is if you take a step back, don't be black, just don't be black for a day, you'll be able to see this thing for what it really is. And I wouldn't be surprised if Brother Polight got that snake bite too. I wouldn't be surprised. I don't trust, listen, a lot of these folks say they didn't get the snake bite, but they were still traveling. So just understand all your esoterics and your hoteps, they were still traveling all over the world, but they didn't get that snake bite. So how was they traveling all over the world without that snake bite? I don't know. I'm just letting you know now, a lot of your esoterics got that jab and they lied about it. There's that one popular vegan girl. She's very popular. This chick just said she went to the Beyonce concert talking about she didn't want to get the Peter Pandemic. Listen, a lot of your esoterics got that jab because they want to be able to travel and make money. I'm just telling you. Let's continue.
Okay. All right. That's what science would suggest. Science would suggest that.
Science would suggest that. Science also said, take the snake bite. I don't trust science too much. Science also said, stay 6 feet apart and wear the mask. I don't think I trust science too much at this point. So science ain't too credible as of now, Brother Polight. And the name is so fitting. Think about somebody who has a poor light. He named himself Polight. Think about his name is Brother Polight. The irony. I told you that people tell on themselves. People tell on themselves because God did not create us to sin. So if God didn't create us to sin, that means when you're sinning, you're going against the very nature of your entire being. That's why he named himself Brother Polight, because he has a poor light. Let's continue.
But here's this woman talking about this DNA evidence. And then now when we call her so we can interview her, get a deposition and have it on record with my attorneys questioning them based on the findings of our forensic expert, she's nowhere to be found. So you know what we could do now? We could file a motion to dismiss the DNA for the case. That's what we could do. Because if we go to trial, we won't be able to cross-examine her because suddenly she disappears. She works for some private company and no one could find her.
Now, nobody can find her, so he says. So he says. But you believe this woman who don't know Brother Polight, who doesn't know anything about this, is going to lie to make sure this guy is jammed up. And this is what most of these black men have been hiding behind. They've been hiding behind this illusion of oppression. That means if anything happens to them, it's because the system trying to bring them down, not because they're reaping what they've sown. This is why black folks hate the Bible, because God talks about reaping and sowing. God will not be mocked. That which a man soweth, he shall also reap. So black people hate the Bible because the Bible doesn't deal with what the white man is doing or what the Caucasian is doing. The Bible deals with what you are doing. So reaping and sowing is really cause and effect. That means the seed you plant are going to yield you a harvest. So every time so black men have been hiding behind this illusion of oppression. When it's time for them to get their just dues, when the chickens come home to roof, when those fruits are ripe for the picking, now all of a sudden it's the white man. All the way up until them, though, they were deviant, decadent, spreading death, destruction, and damnation. Let's continue.
Now, all the while, the state been giving me opportunities to plead 20 years sexual offender, plead 15 years sexual offender. And I'm like, I wouldn't care if you gave me 1 day in prison. So long as you got that label registered sex offender on there, I'm going to trial. So long as you got that label there, registered sex offender, I'm going to trial because I can never make a plea to something like that.
Now, notice he didn't say, I can never make a plea to that because I didn't do that. Again, when people are innocent, they're very direct and matter of fact. When people are innocent, they don't dance around with their words. I didn't do it. I'm not arguing with you. I didn't do it. When people are innocent, they are very direct. They're not doing all this word gymnastics, playing, jumping back and forth. When folks are innocent, they tell you, I didn't do it, period. I don't care what y'all got to do. I didn't do it. When folks do all this drawn out stuff, can't sit still, pace in the room, Christian Dior headscarf on, probably some kind of designer bag on, designer t-shirt, walking around. This is body language, guilty. Y'all done grew up in the black neighborhood, but you don't know body language. I don't believe y'all. You can't tell when somebody's lying. You can't tell when you're being tricked, when you're being deceived. Of course not, because you're emotional. And you focus on them being black instead of their character. This is why skin worship is of the devil. Skin worship is satanic and demonic. Because focusing on somebody's skin alleviates their character. This is why black folks continue to get tricked, because the person looks black. Kamala Harris is Indian, from India. From the Brahmin class. She's from the highest class in India. So when she's in India, she's the top class. You ain't never heard her speak about the caste system in India. You've never heard her talk about how she's on the top of the food chain in India. And she is, because her mother's Indian. Black folks believe that if your father is black, then you know it's what your mother is. You all can get upset all you want, but the Messiah is of the tribe of Judah. Let me not say that. Let me see, because I had looked it up. Hold on. I think he's from... So Mary, it says that Mary is on her father's side from the tribe of Judah, on her mother's side, the tribe of Levi. But my point is that Judah and Levi, so Christ is from the tribe of Judah, is from his mother. But you are what your mother is. They've told you that your dad, all that, it's not true. Whatever womb you come out of is what you are. So Kamala Harris is Indian, just like Barack Obama is white. It's just how it works. You are what your mother is. Like if they did reparations, most black people that are biracial, the father's black and the mother is something else. So you wouldn't qualify for reparations. That's why when you fill out important documentation, they always ask you, what's your mother's maiden name? Because that determines what you are. I'm sorry. I hate to burst everybody's bubble, but that's what it is. So you can get mad, but her father's not Indian. Her father is white and West Indian as far as in Jamaica. Her dad ain't Indian. Her dad is white and I guess what you consider black, but her dad ain't Indian. Her mother is full-fledged Indian. And it's funny that Kamala went to high school in Montreal. Like she left her father when she was 9 years old, back and forth from India to Canada. I mean, she wasn't even raised here like that. Anyway, that's not my point. My point to say what I'm saying is these people trick black folks because black folks believe that appearance determines what you are. A person, how somebody look does not trace back their bloodline. Black folks are fixated on darker skin. So black people think, okay, dark skin 1,000 years ago, same dark skin. It's not how that works. I'm sorry. It's not how that works. So black folks get deceived a lot with stuff based on appearance. Again, but she's not black. And Obama's not black either. Let's continue, though.
So guess what happens? The state says if we ever want to do interviews, depositions, if we ever want to get a deposition from the mother and a deposition from the daughter, all bets are off. They'll never do an agreement with me. They said they'll never do an agreement. Never do an agreement. Work out an agreement or a plea. I said, I don't give a... My attorneys will tell you straight up, because when you see my attorney video, he's going to tell you straight up. From day one, I said, I'm never doing an agreement to any sexual charges. Interview the mother and the daughter. So they are the last of our depositions. We got the police body cams. We realized that the police report contradicts the affidavit that they did. The affidavit contradicts the interviews that they did on the body cam. So we got 3 contradictions. The story that the mother and daughter tells on the body cam, the stories that they told in the police report, and the stories that they tell on the affidavits. None of them work out. And I'm going to speak about that. But ultimately, we want to interview them. So when we interview them and do our depositions, have the prosecutor sit there, we already know where they're lying. We already know their lies. We looked at each of the 3 different types of lies they said for that night. So guess what's going to happen when we get to interview them? We're just going to ask them questions so they can contradict themselves. So when we go to court, we can ask them which story is true and why did you lie? So the prosecutor hits us again. Well, you know he's going to be facing life. We're in the week now where we got to interview the mother and daughter, get the deposition. So guess what happens 2 days before the mother and daughter are supposed to fly into town for us to get the depositions? They call. After a week ago threatening me, 2 days before the mother and daughter are supposed to fly out, they say, hey, we drop all the sexual charges. Huh? They say we're dropping all the sexual charges. And let me add something to this. Y'all heard this?
Now, again, I don't know if many of you all listened to my video today that I posted, but I'm going to play again what the judge read out to him. Again, you are not going to get convicted off of hearsay. I don't care what the movies tell you. I don't care what BLM tells you. I don't care what these woke activists tell you. I don't care what these white liberals tell you. You are not going to get convicted on hearsay. I'm sorry. It's not going to happen. Everybody knows good and well, if this man goes to trial, they're going to throw the book at him. You don't think his attorneys tried to make a deal, an offer? If you drop this, we'll take this. You don't think his attorneys are making deals? Are you crazy? You think his attorneys, where they got DNA evidence is saying, we sticking to our guns and that's it. Now, are you crazy? His attorneys trying to make every deal they can. So don't believe for 1 second that his attorneys ain't calling her attorneys and saying, if y'all drop this, we'll plead guilty to this. This is how it works. But let's continue.
This crazy story that I called a grown woman and asked if I could take her 14-year-old girl to a party. And y'all believe that bullshit. But guess what my text messages say? My text messages say, she asked me. Oh, hold on, let's reverse. Do you know that we broke up that same day? And
Got you. Now, let me ask you a question. So, he's messing with the mother. And let me say this too. I'm not absolving the mother because she shouldn't have been messing with him anyway. She shouldn't have been messing with him. The man is on camera saying, I don't care if Malachi York molested 100 children. This is what he said. I'm quoting him. He said, I don't care if Malachi York molested 100 children. He's still a God to me. So every woman that heard him say that and still stayed with him, it's on you. I don't have any sympathy for these women. My only concern is for the children. But this man said that. He said he didn't care. He's still a God. So I'm not absolving the mother because she should not have been with him in the first place. It is your job to know whether or not you're dating a demon. It's your job. So again, we're going to be held accountable for every idle word. That's what the Bible says. So if life and death is in the power of the tongue, then that means what we say matters. So when you say stuff like this that he said, it's going to cost you. Let's continue.
later that, within a day, within 24 hours, she filed a criminal complaint. Let's add some more color to it. Do you know that the same day that I broke up with her, in my text messages, it's proven she said she was going to destroy my life. She was going to fuck my whole shit up. So we have motive. Do you know that I wasn't the one that asked to take her daughter to a party after 2 a.m. in the morning? Do you know my text messages say she contacted me and asked me to take her daughter out to a party after 2 a.m. in the morning, and I vehemently declined because I said, what the hell do I look like as a grown man taking a 14-year-old that obviously looks like a minor to a party? Y'all don't know that, though. All of this is in my text messages. Y'all don't know that, though.
Now think about this for a second with a clear mind. When she asked him to do that, why wasn't his response, are you crazy? Have you lost your mind? What's wrong with you? Are you on drugs? Are you insane? Why was his response, I'm not taking her out? What I'm telling you is what he's saying doesn't make any sense. If the woman I'm dating calls me up and says, take my daughter out to the club, I'm going to say, you got to be out your mind. Are you crazy? She might get cussed out. Why did he cuss her out? Why wasn't he even offended at the fact that this grown woman wants him to take her daughter out on the town at 2 a.m. and she's 14 years old? Why wasn't he offended? Why didn't that end the relationship? If a woman asked me to take her daughter out at 2 a.m. in the morning, we're not dating anymore. You're crazy. You're nuts. What he's saying doesn't make any sense at all. That should have been offensive to you that she would even ask you that. My question is, why would she even feel comfortable asking you to take her daughter out if you hadn't done it before? Why would she feel comfortable asking you to take her daughter out if she hasn't done it before? If you haven't done it before, if she hasn't seen it before. There's a reason why she asked him that. But let's continue.
So you say, well, then Polight, then you should be clean. I should be, but unfortunately, the mother turned her daughter in. The daughter got high and intoxicated, and because I'm not the one that turned them in, now we dealing with child abuse and delinquency of a minor.
Now he skipped over a lot. So we're gonna slow it down, and we're gonna go back to what he said, and then we're gonna fill in the gap of what he just said. So let's go back a little bit. Take it a step back.
I wasn't the one that asked to take her daughter to a party after 2 a.m. in the morning. Do you know my text messages say? She contacted me and asked me to take her daughter out to a party after 2 a.m. in the morning, and I vehemently declined. Because I said, what the hell do I look like as a grown man taking a 14-year-old that obviously looks like a minor to a party? Y'all don't know that, though. All of this is in my text messages. Y'all don't know that, though. So you say, well, then Polight, then you should be clean. I should be, but unfortunately, the mother turned her daughter in. The daughter got high and intoxicated, and because I'm not the one that turned them in, now we dealing with child abuse and delinquency of a minor.
Got you. He told on himself. You heard what he said? He said, because I didn't turn her in, that means she was where? He just said, I didn't turn her in. So that means the young lady was where? I'm going to ask again. He just said, I didn't turn her in. Because I didn't turn her in and she turned her in, now we're dealing with delinquency of a minor and child abuse because she got high. So why would he be penalized for not turning her in if she was with her mother and not with him after 2 a.m. in the morning? He just told on himself because she was with him after 2 a.m. in the morning. You see, most Black people don't get this level of understanding because when you're Black, you can't get this. This is what Satan is trying to do. Satan is trying to keep you from being wise, keep you from having discernment. He's saying, no, just focus on being Black and you'll be okay. Christ is saying, focus on me. The man just told on himself. He just told on himself. Thank you, Britt, because she was with him. That's why he just said, I'll play it again.
That same day and later that, within a day, within 24 hours, she filed a criminal complaint. Let's add some more color to it. Do you know that the same day that I broke up with her, in my text messages, it's proven she said she was going to destroy my life. She was going to fuck my whole shit up. So we have motive. Do you know that I wasn't the one that asked to take her daughter to a party after 2 a.m. in the morning? Do you know my text messages say? She contacted me and asked me to take her daughter out to a party after 2 a.m. in the morning, and I vehemently declined because I said, what the hell do I look like as a grown man taking a 14-year-old that obviously looks like a minor to a party? Y'all don't know that, though. All of this is in my text messages. Y'all don't know that, though. So you say, well, then Polight, then you should be clean. I should be, but unfortunately, the mother turned her daughter in. The daughter got high and intoxicated, and because I'm not the one that turned them in, now we dealing with child abuse and delinquency of a minor.
Now, what's funny is, in the original complaint, the young lady said he gave her alcohol and drugs. In the original complaint, she gave her alcohol and drugs. Now, how many 14-year-olds do y'all know doing two drugs at the same, drinking and getting high. I mean, let's be honest. With who? Think about this now. 14-year-old girl, who is she going to be drinking and getting high with? So again, he just told himself the young lady was with him and she got high and drunk. That's why he said she got high and drunk. She got. It happened through magic. She got. Listen, I know black folks lie. I know black folks lie. Sounds so convincing. And I didn't do it. And be lying through their teeth. If you grew up in a black neighborhood, you got lied to at least 10 times a day. Crackhead comes to you, bums lying to you, crackheads lying to you, your family lying to you, friends lying to you, everybody in the hood lying to you every day. And black folks still got tricked by BLM. It's amazing. Let's continue.
If they could, so I'm like, let's fight it. Let's fight it. So my attorney's like, I just want you to understand that this child abuse in Florida, aggravated child abuse, from the child being intoxicated, they can give you 30 years in prison.
Now, right. Imagine no colors. You broke up with her because she accused you of taking sexual advantage of her daughter. Then she said she's going to turn you in and ruin your life. Exactly. That's what really happened. That's what happened. That's what happened. That's why y'all broke up. Because she called you out on what you did to her daughter. That's why y'all broke up. Listen, the mother is 50% to blame, and so is he. These two adults are 100% to blame. She let her daughter go with him because I guess she was in love with the god, and he told her she was a goddess, and he took advantage of her. They both wrong. They both wrong as two left shoes. So I'm not absolving anyone. I will say that the man is the one that sets the standard, and the man is the one that leads. This is why most black men are incapable of leadership, because they have an excuse. They're going to blame the white man. And I don't think that black men realize the spiritual consequence of doing that. The spiritual consequence of saying that I can't do right because of some other man. That is a slap in God's face. It's a slap in every woman's face. It's a slap in every child's. It's a slap in the nation's face for a man to say, I can't be who God wants me to be because of some other man. It's absolutely insane. Let's continue.
I'm like, man, take the goddamn agreement. If
you heard what he said, let's go back. Let's go back.
With child abuse and delinquency of a minor. Oh man, taking a.
Now he can't sit still because he's lying.
His daughter got high and intoxicated, and because I'm not the one that turned them in, now we dealing with child abuse and delinquency of a minor. If they could, so I'm like, let's fight it. Let's fight it. So my attorney's like, I just want you to understand that this child abuse in Florida, aggravated child abuse, from the child being intoxicated, they can give you 30 years in prison. I'm like, man, take the goddamn agreement. If, under what circumstances, if they could convince a jury that whether you gave her alcohol or you was aware that she was high at any point in time and you didn't turn her in, but since the mother did, you could be subject to 30 years. So that's
told you.
So years of victory, but it's and so you say, well, then Polight, then you should be clean. I should be, but unfortunately, the mother turned her daughter in. The daughter got high and intoxicated, and because I'm not the one that turned them in, now we dealing with child abuse and delinquency of a minor. If they could, so I'm like, let's fight it, let's fight it. So my attorney's like, I just want you to understand that this child abuse in Florida, aggravated child abuse, from the child being intoxicated, they can give you 30 years in prison. I'm like, man, take the goddamn agreement. If, under what circumstances, if they could convince a jury that whether you gave her alcohol or you was aware that she was high at any point in time and you didn't turn her in, but since the mother did, you could be subject to 30 years.
So again, what he's saying is the child, when she left his presence, she was high and drunk. And when she got to the mother was like, what happened? And the girl told her. That's what happened. Now, whether the mother set it up, I don't know. Whatever, I don't know. But all I know is that young lady was with him. So the mother's responsible and he's responsible, but the young lady was with him. And when he released that young lady, I guarantee she was high and drunk. She's 14. I don't know what he gave her. Somebody said he said he didn't drink or do drugs. I thought he was a vegan. Couldn't find out he on that yak. Popping them pills. I don't know.
So let's make a goddamn agreement, man. And let's work this thing out. So still got to sit down somehow, some way. But it is what it is. Blessings in abundance is bittersweet. Oh my goodness. And more information is going to come out, and this shit is far from over for all the lies that was told on me. Peace.
Let me get that last little outro.
You gave her alcohol or you was aware that she was high at any point in time and you didn't turn her in, but since the mother did, you could be subject to 30 years. So I said, let's make a goddamn agreement, man. And let's work this thing out. So still got to sit down somehow, some way. But it is what it is.
How am I plead? Listen, think about this now. Why would I plead to something if the young lady wasn't even with me? If the young lady wasn't with me, why am I pleading out? It doesn't make any sense. This is how you know he's lying. This is how you know he's lying. And a lot of times when they talking about making these deals, her mother was like, I don't know if I want my daughter on the stand reliving these, talking about these sexual events. Listen, there's a lot of reasons why they take certain routes. When the lawyers get to talking, her lawyers told her, listen, if you take this deal, he'll definitely do 7 years and he'll have the probation. She probably said, okay. But again, if the daughter was not in your presence, then why would you be pleading to anything? It's because he's guilty. Where there's smoke, there's fire. Turn her in means he should have reported to like Child Protective Services or the hospital. She should have been turned into some place to say she's intoxicated as a minor. She needs to seek help. It shows that you aren't a willing participant in her being intoxicated. That's why. But he didn't want, but guess what? He didn't want to turn her in because of what he did. If he'd have turned her into the police or to the hospital emergency room or something, it'd have been worse. Right. Imagine no colors. Notice how he said the lawyer told him he can get 30 years in prison for aggravated child abuse because he was the one who gave her the alcohol. Yeah, and the drugs. Oh, yeah, now listen now. He going to get out in probably about 4 years. He going to do 4 years. He already knows he gonna get out in 4 years. He gonna tell you about the system. He gonna come out talking about the system this, the system that. They does. Come But let me go to what the judge says. Let me go to the judge. Let me go to the judge. So we're going to listen to a few of these charges and let's see what the actual charges are. Let's see what these charges are. Let's listen to what the judge says. Don't take my word for it. Don't take his word for it. Let's listen to the judge.
Count 2 was lewd and lascivious molestation on a child by up to 15 years state prison. Count 2 was lewd and lascivious molestation on a child, 12 to 16 years, a second-degree felony, punishable by up to 15 years state prison. Lewd and lascivious conduct on a child under 16 by a defendant 18 or over, a second-degree felony, punishable by up to 15 years state prison. Count 4, lewd and lascivious exhibition on a child under 16 years, defendant over 18, a second-degree felony, punishable by up to 15 years state prison. And contributing to the dependency of a child, a first-degree misdemeanor, punishable by up to 1 year in jail. And then count 6 is interference with custody, a third-degree felony, punishable by up to 5 years state prison. The state has now filed an amended information today, charging you with the following: aggravated child abuse, great bodily harm, a first-degree felony, punishable by up to 30 years state prison. Count 2 is aggravated child abuse, great bodily harm, a first-degree felony, punishable by up to 30 years state prison. And contributing to the dependency of a child, a first-degree misdemeanor, punishable by up to 1 year in jail. It is my understanding that you wish to plead guilty to this new information. You would be adjudicated guilty.
Again, he pled guilty to those last 3 charges. So basically, they dropped all the sexual stuff. And again, if he takes the plea deal, he's going to prison immediately. If they go the other route, it's going to be trial and all that stuff. So again, in this plea deal, her lawyers talked with his lawyer. They came up with this deal. His lawyer said, listen, if you drop this, this, and this, my client will take this. He'll agree to this. I'm just telling you. And restitution. So not only do they get the guilty conviction in the 7 years, they also get money. We're going to listen to it, though. We're going to listen to it.
And your sentence has been memorialized in a 4-page plea agreement. Did you have the opportunity to go over this plea agreement with your lawyer?
Yes.
Okay. I do need the defendant to initial each page because there are not initials on these pages. Okay. Let me know when it's done.
Boy, that nigga gonna have a rough time in jail.
Yes, sir.
He on that thing scribbling. M-N.
Now, it is my understanding, Mr. Nowak, that you have gone over this plea agreement with your lawyer, and I want to go over it with you, not each and every aspect of it, but the major components of the plea agreement. But what I am going to ask is for the state to tell me the general terms of the plea agreement, and then we will go into the details on the contract. Go ahead.
Your Honor, the plea agreement includes an adjudication 7 years of state prison followed by 10 years of reporting probation. As a condition of probation, the defendant
It's like, when you say 10 years probation.
10 years reporting probation. Okay. The defendant will complete the MDSO program. The defendant will not be allowed to have unsupervised contact with children. The defendant will have specific terms regarding where he may work and the ability to wear a uniform. There are additional terms of restitution, of which $5,000 has been agreed to be paid upfront within 24 hours, mailed to the to the victim, and additional restitution to be paid out on a monthly basis once he is out of custody. And that monthly amount is highlighted in the written terms of the plea agreement. Additionally, there will be a stay away order from victim TS and her mother, which is also mentioned in the plea agreement.
What is the total amount of the restitution?
The total amount of restitution is $25,000.
Okay. All right.
The defendant's counsel wants to provide information with the proof of the $5,000 being paid.
Yes, Your Honor. Okay. All right. Okay, so Mr. Nowak, the terms of the plea agreement are as what the prosecutor just stated, that you are going to be entering a plea of guilty to the 2 counts of aggravated child abuse and 1 count of deliberate contributing to the delinquency of a minor. You will be adjudicated guilty, which is a criminal conviction on your record. Do you also understand, sir, that by entering into this plea that it may subject you to involuntary civil commitment proceedings set forth in Florida statutes 394.910 through 394.931. Do you understand everything that I've said thus far?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, I want to also advise you, sir, that you are going to be sentenced to 7 years in state prison to be followed by 10 years of reporting probation. In addition to any of these special conditions of probation, you will also participate in and successfully complete a mentally disordered sex offender treatment program.
So you heard that. He has to complete the mental disorder sexual treatment. Now, again, everybody knows he did it. So they're still saying to him, we're not just letting you get by with the sexuals. You got to get the treatment for that. You got to complete that sexual mental illness program too. We know what you did. Now, this happened in Florida. So again, you ain't getting off the hook from the sexual stuff you did, Mr. Polight or Mr. Nowak.
To be followed by 10 years of reporting probation. In addition to any of these special conditions of probation, you will also participate in and successfully complete a mentally disordered sex offender treatment program. That you are also not eligible. Okay, you may, according to the state, you may be eligible for early termination if all of the conditions of your probation have been completed, that you have had no violations of your probation, and that you have not been arrested for any other criminal offense. Is that correct, State?
And to clarify, the terms stated in 5 is there is no prohibition on early termination. However, there is a requirement that any modification to this agreement be agreed by the state and the court.
Okay. All right, sir. Now, with respect to this plea agreement, I have on each page next to...
Now, I have somebody on here, and I knew they was going to come out. This guy says, Europeans get away with this all the time. I've never in my life heard a European call themselves a god. I've never in my life heard a European call themselves a goddess. I've never in my life heard a European call themselves a king and a queen. I've never heard a European call themselves gods of the universe. The problem with you all is you all want to have the highest accolades, but then have the lowest standards. So you want me to praise you and exalt you for being a God, but then hold you to the standard of being a savage beast. I won't do it. I won't do it. Black people walk around every day telling the entire world how they're better than everybody else. But you want me to judge you on the standard of all the peons. I won't do it. If you call yourself a god or a goddess, a king or a queen, the chosen people, gods of the universe, I'm going to hold you to that standard. If you don't want that standard, then stop calling yourself a god or goddess, king or queen. It's simple. Just be normal like everybody else. Just be normal like everybody else, and you'll get held to that standard. So again, Europeans get away with this all the time is an inaccurate statement. Black people take more plea deals than anybody. It's because black folks go to court emotional. That's why black people lose all the time, because they're emotional. White people go to court to win the case. Black folks go to court to avoid punishment. Two different strategies. Brother Polight is guilty. Just like Rashad Jamal or Jamal Rashad, whatever, is guilty. They're guilty. Just like the Nature Boy is guilty. So again, there are Europeans in prison. If you go to Europe, it's a bunch of Europeans in prison. If you go to Spain, it's a bunch of Spanish in prison. If you go to England, it's a bunch of English in prison. If you go to France, it's a bunch of French in prison. Black people, get your feeble mind out of the gutter. Your mind is limited and it's simple. The media has convinced you that white people are getting away with something. That is media propaganda. There are white people in prison. The only difference is there's no don't snitch in the white community. They don't make songs about not snitching when somebody got killed in the white community. They don't make songs about don't snitch when a child got murdered in the white community. Black folks are doing that. So again, if black folks want to be judged like everybody else, then stop calling yourselves gods and goddesses, kings and queens. Just be normal. And I guarantee your standard will be like everybody else's. So again, if you're coming on here and you're mentioning white people, you are a coward. If you come on here mentioning white people, you are weak and disgusting. You're not a man. The moment this man is being held accountable, y'all are bringing up white people. It's actually insane. It's insane. Black men have been terrorizing the black community for quite some time. And they've been getting away with it because they've been blaming the white man. That stops today. The reason why black men are in prison is because they want to be in prison. They got boyfriends in there. That's why they're in prison. Their boyfriend is in prison. The reason why black men are in prison is because their boyfriend is in prison. They want to be with their boyfriend. So again, black men have been terrorizing the black community. They've been terrorizing black women. They've been terrorizing black children. And they've been getting away with it for years because of the white man. That's going to stop today. Because on Judgment Day, I can guarantee the white man ain't going to be nowhere around you to blame. It's going to be you and God. And I can guarantee you it's not going to be favorable. So again, if you go to Nigeria, their prison is filled with Nigerians. If you go to Ethiopia, their prison is filled with Ethiopians. If you go to Kenya, the prison is filled with Kenyans. The media propaganda machine has you all so dumbed down that you don't even understand that the prison system exists all over the world. So if you're on here bringing up Europeans, you're a coward. And ladies, if any man is defending Rashad Jamal or Brother Polight or the Nature Boy or Young Pharaoh, any of them guys, don't deal with him. Because I can guarantee you that he's going to be unaccountable. Any man blaming white people is not going to be accountable. He's not going to do it. Let's continue.
Goes out to that mother and that daughter. But I want to say this to the conscious community. I want to say this to the conscious community. If we are really sincere about protecting the innocence of children, I'm going to keep it 100 right now.
Now, do you think Umar is going to hold Brother Polight accountable or not? Who wants to make a bet with me? Who wants to bet whether or not Umar is going to hold him accountable? Give me thumbs up for holding him accountable. Give me thumbs down for making an excuse. Do y'all think Umar Johnson is about to speak? Is he going to hold Brother Light accountable or not going to hold him accountable? Which one do you think he's going to do? Only Nature Boy we acknowledge is Rick Smith, is Ric Flair. So all the women are saying no. All the men on here talking about yeah. Ain't that funny? Why is it the women got more sense than the men? The women got more sense than the men. Ain't that crazy? Let's go.
I'm going to keep it 100 right now at the Frederick Douglass Marcus Garvey Academy. If we really...
Man, we don't care about you plugging that little raggedy school, man, with no accreditation. We don't care about you plugging that raggedy school that took you 15 years to make with no accreditation. I guarantee them kids can't read in that school, nor write, nor do math. But let's continue. Umar Johnson is the school founder. Man, please. School is doomed to fail. Let's continue.
Really want to keep it a buck. If we look at the history of black consciousness, there have been men who have in fact had relations with children under the age of 18. Under the age of 18. Under the age of 18. And if you want to use the white man's limit of 16,
Now listen now. Now listen. If you want to use the white man's limit of 16, listen to what he's saying. I told y'all that these black conscious folks don't look at age the same. They don't believe it's wrong messing with little children. They don't. They don't. I'm telling you, they don't. They don't. Black men been terrorizing black families for years. Grandfathers, fathers, uncles, cousins, nephews been terrorizing the black family for years through sexual abuse, and they covered it up. Black folks are masters at deception because they didn't want to look bad in front of white folks instead of folks not looking bad in front of God. Black folks didn't want to look bad in front of white folks instead of not wanting to look bad in front of God. Black folks don't care about pedophilia. You think black folks gonna start a riot in the street because they talking about making pedophilia illegal? Of course not. We just saw a woman give her daughter to Brother Polight. We saw a bunch of parents give their child to R. Kelly. So again, black folks don't care about no pedophilia, no child molestation. They don't. I'm sorry, they don't. We all know it's true. Talk to most black women, they done been touched on by a man in their family. This is the facts. I'm sorry. So again, it's almost impossible for the black man to lead because he has an excuse. And his excuse is, I'm oppressed by another man. This automatically puts him at odds with the black woman and the black child. Automatically, because he has an excuse. But let's continue.
If you want to use the white man's age of sexual majority of 16, we've had a lot of leaders. I'm not going to say a lot. I know at least a handful. I know at least a handful of major black leaders who are still celebrated even now, who have given birth to some of our largest organizations, who have impregnated girls under the age of 16. I'm not talking rumor or...
Young lady, do you think I'm gonna stop what I'm doing to hop on Umar's live? Are you out of your mind? Are you out of your rabbit mind? You think I'm gonna stop what I'm doing to hop on Umar's live? Are you crazy? You got to be a bliggity black, woke, conscious sister. You got to be a bliggity black woman to think I'm gonna stop what I'm doing, exposing these frauds, to hop on Umar Johnson's whack live when he ain't talking about nothing but how the white man's oppressing him. Are you serious? I ain't hopping on Umar's live. Are you crazy? To even ask me that. The audacity, the nerve, the gall. Somebody said, you don't want that heat. What heat could Umar Johnson give me? What heat? Umar Johnson says that he is a relative of Frederick Douglass. Frederick Douglass was not a Pan-Africanist. Frederick Douglass was against black folks leaving America going to Africa. These are facts. Marcus Garvey working with the Klan. These are facts. Marcus Garvey working with the KKK and the eugenics and the eugenicists. Marcus Garvey was with the eugenicists and the Klan. These are facts. So what is he going to destroy me on? Nothing. Elijah Muhammad, same way, messing with children. So again, he can't do nothing. He got y'all riled up. Y'all the one helping him build his school. Y'all the one gave him money, not me. He don't trick me. I know any black man talking about the white man's oppressing him is indulging in all manners of wickedness and decadence. Any black man getting on a platform every day saying that the white man's oppressing me is involved in all manner of wickedness and foolishness. I'm playing a clip of his video. I played Brother Polight's video, and if you had a video, I'll play yours too. We exposing all these black quote unquote leaders that are frauds. But I guarantee one thing, they won't post my videos. I guarantee one thing, they won't post my videos. I guarantee one thing, Umar ain't shadow banned. Brother Polight ain't shadow banned. Rashad Jamal ain't shadow banned. Why is it all these folks got all the keys to the black liberation, but the very system ain't penalizing them? They not shadow banned. They not demonetized. They get to talk freely. They got all the keys, Black people are the gods. We got the secrets and all this stuff. But yet the system is saying, you know what? Go ahead and say it. I get on live and say, it's all fake, y'all. And they shadow ban me and shut me down. Come on. Come on. I posted a video about men waiting till marriage to have sex, and they demonetized me for it. Think about this. Dr. Umar Johnson got the whole script on liberation, and they promote him. He and every algorithm. I said that men should wait till marriage to get sex, and I got demonetized and blocked. They took my video down. What are we talking about? I'll tell you why. Because what these esoteric Black conscious leaders are talking about is foolishness. It's absolute foolishness. Stop my live to hop on Umar Johnson's live and listen to him beg y'all for some money. Are you crazy? Y'all must be slow. You got to be slow. This man just said he know a whole bunch of Black leaders messing with children, but he ain't condemned one of them. Umar Johnson just said he knows a handful of Black leaders that are prominent in the Black community that started these organizations, and he ain't condemned one of them. So why wouldn't Umar Johnson condemn a pedophile? Why wouldn't Umar Johnson condemn a pedophile? Why is Umar Johnson not doing what I'm doing, exposing these guys for messing with children? I just simply asked you a question. Don't know you passive aggressive. Don't do that. I was just asking a question. It was innocent, Blanche. I promise. I just wanted to know why you didn't stop your live to hop on his live. Girl, get out of here, man, with that foolishness. I'm trying to hear that, man. I ain't Pookie. I ain't Ray Ray. I'm none of them men you talk to. None of them. I'm nothing like them. I'm not Pookie. I'm not Ray Ray. I'm not Rashad Jamal. I'm not Umar, Jermaine Shoemaker, whatever his real name is. I ain't Brother Polight, Michael Nowak. I ain't none of them. I ain't the nature boy. The man just told you he know a handful of Black prominent leaders messing with children, and he ain't condemned them one time. And you questioning me. Don't question me. You question him. He the one got your rent money, not me. He got your baby shoe money, not me. I just asked a question. You don't want that smoke. Bunch of heathens on my page. Y'all crazy. Why don't I stop my live and get on his live because he live? I'm going to listen to this fraud talk. Are you crazy? Man just told on himself. What grown man knows another man is messing with children and you still celebrate him? Get out of here, man. Y'all a bunch of frauds. Y'all gonna all end up in a camp somewhere. Okay, now see you get out of pocket. I'm not copping any pleas. I don't know who you're talking to like that. I'm talking to you. Hey, your daddy should have talked to you. Now go be quiet and go in your room and close the door and sit down. Be still. Go read your Bible. You ain't playing today. You ain't going out. Go in your room, close the door, read that Bible. You ain't going nowhere tonight. What your daddy should have told you. Talking about I'm out of pocket. Talking about why don't I stop my live and hop on his live. Girl, the girl done lost her mind. That comment disrupted my spirit. This man just told you he knows men messing with children and he still celebrates them. And you getting on, you questioning me. You questioning me. Y'all a bunch of frauds, man. Y'all a bunch of frauds. Just a bunch of bliggity blacks. Just lost and confused.
Age of 18. Under the age of 18. And if you want to use the white man's limit of 16, If you want to use the white man's age of sexual majority of 16, we've had a lot of leaders. I'm not going to say a lot. I know at least a handful. I know at least a handful of major black leaders who are still celebrated even now, who have given birth to some of our largest organizations, who have impregnated girls under the age of 16.
So if he knows this is true, why has he not condemned them? If Umar Johnson knows these men are impregnating girls, we talking about babies, why is he not condemning them? Am I tripping? Am I tripping? Am I wrong? Why is Umar Johnson not condemning these black leaders that he knows for a fact are impregnating girls 16 and under? Thank you, Vintage Goods, for the super sticker. Thank you so much.
I'm not talking rumor or allegation. I'm talking have proven to have had children with black girls under the age of 16. There are men who have married girls under the age of 16.
And you still on here not questioning Umar. I don't listen to black people. I don't listen to black people for this very reason. This girl is still talking about everything but the elephant in the room. Umar Johnson just told you that he knows prominent black men that have molested children, and you're not saying he's wrong. I'm not stopping what I'm doing to ask Umar and ask him for what? He gonna give me an excuse like you gonna give me an excuse because y'all bliggity black. Ask him personally. I don't know him. He took y'all money. Be mad at him. You ain't mad he took your money. Y'all gave the man EBTs and everything for that school. Thank you, MoCoy, for the super sticker. Thank you so much. This woman is crazy, man. She must think I'm Pookie or Ray Ray. She must think I'm Umar or Polight. Who she think I am? Who she think I am? Think I'm Pookie and them? Think I'm Rashad Jamal and them?
I'm not talking about fly-by-night leaders. I'm talking about leaders who have given birth to major black organizations. My point is, this is not a new thing. This is not a new thing. This is not a new thing. And you know what's sad? And I'm not throwing dirt on nobody, but you know what's sad? If this brother isn't that guilty of the charges that were laid upon him, and it appears that he is, especially if there's 6 semen stains. Somebody said 6 semen stains were found on that 14-year-old child. 6 semen stains. I don't know. I don't follow mess. I'm just going off to the reports. But
you don't listen. This is y'all leader. You can read the police. Listen, this is what I'm talking about. These guys are frauds. Why are you repeating information that you don't know is true or not? This is y'all leader. The man that took y'all EBT money, he took y'all money to build that school. He took y'all money and took him 20 years to build a school. He just told you, I don't follow mess, but you're doing a video about mess. The man just said the black groups, organizations, their leaders of the black groups and these black movements that we praise and worship, the men were messing with underage girls. And now one time, as he said, they're wrong, he just said it's not new. Well, I know it's not new. I know it's not new. Why not condemn them? Oh, I know why. Because you want that same kind of grace. You want to be able to be a whoremonger and have the black folks still praise you. I don't want to be around nobody that doesn't want to hold me accountable. I don't want to be around not a single person that doesn't want to hold me accountable. None. This man didn't say it was wrong. He didn't condemn it. He said it's not new.
You know what? He will be able to reinvent himself in this black America. He will be able to reinvent himself in this black America. He will be able to reinvent himself. You know why? Because you have had men who have done similar things, who gave birth to some of our largest black movements, and those movements are still running strong. Those men are still considered great black leaders, although they molested underage black girls. So unfortunately,
so why are you not condemning them? This is what I mean. Why are you not saying this man, because he said out of his own mouth, he knows for a fact a handful, but he ain't going to say one name. You know why? Because he got to protect the bliggity, 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 bliggity black daddy, because he the bliggity, 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 bliggity black. He got to protect blackness. He ain't got to honor God. He got to honor blackness. He ain't got to honor God. He got to honor blackness. He got to honor blackness. He's not saying their name for a reason. There's a reason why he's not saying these men's name. And it's not because he's honorable or he's brave. Because he knows if he mentions something negative about the folks that black folks love, it's going to affect his pockets. That's why he's not saying anything. I'll run down the list on y'all. Sexual deviants, all these black leaders. And Malcolm X didn't lead Nation of Islam because Elijah Muhammad was messing with underage girls. He left because he couldn't speak. Even when Malcolm X found out what Elijah Muhammad was doing, because he even admitted he was told twice. The second time made him go see the girls. He still didn't leave. Malcolm X left because they wouldn't let him speak. I'm giving y'all factual information. I name names. I name names. Brother Polight, I named the names. Rashad Jamal, I named the names. Elijah Muhammad, I named the names. Because black folks need to see who they're following and not be ambiguous. Because you're ambiguous because you know if you go against these folks that black folks love, like MLK, another sexual deviant, if you go against who black folks love, they're going to stop following you. I don't need black folks following me, honestly. We're going to name names. And look at, here go another one. But black, it's pedophiles in the Catholic Church. They got movies and documentaries about the pedophiles in the Catholic Church. They ain't got their movie or their documentary about the sexual deviant nature of these black leaders. Not a single one. Everybody know what the Catholics is doing. It's been lawsuits. It's been media coverage. You ain't seen their documentary, movie, or show about the sexual deviant nature of the black leaders. None of them. My black. The Catholic priest, they doing tough too. Just a weak and simple-minded black coward. The black man ain't fit to lead. And dear black women, I feel sorry for you all. I do. I used to get on y'all a lot more, but the more I started realizing what's going on, these black men been terrorizing y'all for years. These black men been hiding behind the white man for years. But the Catholic priest, weak. The Catholic priest been doing it for years. Why can't we do it? That's what he's saying. The Catholic priest been doing it all this time. Why can't we do it? That's what he's saying. He ain't saying it's wrong. He ain't condemning it. He ain't saying none of that. He's saying if the white folk get to do it, why can't we do it? If the white man get to do it, why can't we do it? No matter how wicked and evil and deviant and decadent it is, if the white man get to do it, why can't we do it?
Definitely, in this black America, he will, post incarceration, be able to reinvent himself. But I want to go somewhere else with it.
There we go. There we go. There we go. Now look at him. Look at him. Look at him. Look at him. He on here now, y'all. Look, he on here now. Stop celebrating cool. Black is a cool. Black hate black people. Thank you, T, for the super sticker. Thank you so much. T says, thank you for exposing these frauds, Blanche. You are welcome. Black is a cool. Blanche hate black people. He wants to be white. He hate us. These are grown men. Blanche hate us. Why he hate us so much? When I tell you that the black man ain't fit to lead, y'all think I'm joking. I'm serious. You can't pay Blanche to disrespect white people as a group. You can't pay him to do it because he won't do it. I'll tell you why. The reason is in 2020, when this great reset really kicked off, and it was really time to fight, and it was really time to stand up, I looked around and I saw white folks in the millions bucking against what was going on. I didn't see any black folks. I saw white folks standing up against Klaus Schwab, against Bill Gates, against the WEF, against the WHO, against the CDC, against the government. I saw white people standing up against this evil global agenda. I didn't see any black people. When the country was shut down in 2020, them white folks went to those capital cities with their guns and got the country off of lockdown. White people, not black people. White people, not black people. So over the past 3 years, I've seen white people risk their lives, their careers, their jobs, their families, all in the name of freedom. I've seen white folks do this in the millions, not black people. So y'all want me to condemn white folks that have been fighting, and black folks been telling me I can't come to the party because I ain't got a shot. You want me to condemn white folks filing lawsuits against Big Pharma, against the government, but you want me to condemn them and you want me to celebrate black folks telling me I can't come in their restaurant because I ain't got the smokes. I didn't get the poke. You want me to celebrate black folks that in a moment where black folk were supposed to fight against this evil and wicked agenda, black folks was complicit, telling folks to put their mask on, telling folks to get the shot, telling folks they can't come here, telling folks they shouldn't work here, to get fight. Black folks. I got fired by my black manager and the black HR person. I got 2 black folks telling me I can't work here no more. So you want me to condemn white folks, and they've been fighting for the past 3 years, and y'all been working with Satan? I refuse to do it. I will not do it. This is a pro-white channel and page. White folks, y'all good with me. And when stuff hit the fan, I'm coming. I know white folks are prepared. White folks got land. White folks welcoming people to come unite with them. I don't see no black folks prepared for none of this. I ain't seen no black folks prepared for none of what's going on. So you want me to condemn white people that's been fighting and support some black folks working for Satan? You out of your mind. Are you crazy? Black folks tore the streets up for BLM. And BLM ran off with billions of dollars. Black folks tore the streets up for George Floyd, but wouldn't fight against these folks tell you to get a shot. I wish I would. Every protest and rally or march you seen against this snake bite was white folks. All around the world, white folks, not black folks. Black folks said, I'm going to stick out my arm and I'm going to get the shot. And if you want to be around me, you better get it too. You can't come see Big Mama unless you get the shot. That's black folks. You can't come to the family reunion because you ain't got the shot. That's black folks. Got a heathen on here talking about and smoke and got the Boost Mobile, got the shot and the Boost Mobile. How much y'all want to bet John Brown is jabbed up? How much you want to bet? He got the, and guess what? He finna get his fifth shot in a couple of weeks. How much you want to bet? How much y'all want to bet that John Brown get his 5th shot in a couple of weeks? How much y'all want to bet? Let's continue. Now y'all see, they ain't gonna never address what I'm saying. When I mention white folks fighting and black folks being cowards, they never address that. They jump to all other, they'll never address because they know it's true. They know it's true. They know that black folks was cowards when this stuff came out. You're gonna see round 2, they still gonna be cowards. Round 2 is coming. Black folks been wearing, I said, hold on. I saw in June, I said, why are black folks wearing this mask? I said, what's going on? I don't watch TV. I said, what's going on? In July, I said, why black folks wearing this? August, I'm like, why black? September, oh, that's why. CNN told them to. CNN told them to. So again, they never will address me saying what black folks should have been fighting for ever. They gonna call me coon, all this stuff, but they won't tell you I'm lying. And y'all think John Brown ain't gonna be in the camp somewhere? He gonna be in the camp somewhere. He gonna be in the camp. You think he ain't? You think he ain't? Let's continue.
Hey, y'all.
Now listen, this is Michi X. Michi X be on that bliggity black stuff, so I don't really listen to her like that. But I felt like this video was appropriate, and I did agree with her on this video mostly on this. I agree with her on this video. Normally, no. But on this video, I agree with her. But let's continue.
So I just want to say something real quick to the people on my page. I have no patience and no tolerance for your ignorance, okay? I've removed like 30 people this morning, and I'm just letting you know that you keep saying dumb shit in my comment section about defending this man, or if y'all keep making this comment, like this comment is really pissing me off too. Why we don't go after white people the same way? Are you really finna turn this into race? Like, do you really need somebody to give you that logic? So going after white people who are doing this to white children and white women and white boys, how the fuck does that help the black community? There y'all go eating that fucking meth for breakfast again. It just doesn't make any sense to me. Why are you upset at the black man for going to jail for doing the things that he did? Why do you not want us to focus on the black community that is affected by the shit that is happening to them? You want me to focus on the white man. You do realize that if we got into this fight, we would be fighting to save white children and white women from the abuse that is given to them by their men. Why the fuck would we take on that fight? It's amazing to me how the black community always wants to bring up white people, but take no fucking accountability for the shit that we do. We don't.
And that's the issue. I agree with Michi X on this. The problem is that anytime you hold black folks accountable, they bring up white people. Anytime you hold black folks accountable, they point to white people. That is the most clever plot that Satan ever played on any people in the world, was to make them believe that their morality rests in another group of people. So black folks believe they don't have to be held accountable if white folks aren't. It's the most insane logic I've ever heard, but it makes sense because most black folks are atheists. They don't believe in God. So if you don't believe in God, why would you want to be accountable to God? You're going to be accountable to something you can look at. And since most black people made white folks their God, that's what they do. They say if white folks cutting up, we get to cut up. But white folks getting married, y'all won't do that. Huh? Okay. It's funny, white folks getting married, and black folks say, well, marriage is a white institution. white people going to school, black folks say, well, the school is racist. Like, they just making all the good stuff white folks do, black folks say it's racist they can't do. It's crazy. It's foolish. Let's continue.
We don't want to talk about the white people because it's not the white person that molested us, nigga. It's our black ass uncle. It's our black ass grandfather. It's our black ass mama's boyfriend. Shit, it might be your black ass mama. So that's why we're not talking about the white man. You gonna talk about the white man. We're gonna talk about the men and women that are doing this shit to us, and it ain't the white man, okay?
Again, I know a lot of young ladies in the black community have been touched and very inappropriately traumatized, innocence taken, all this stuff. And family tried to hide it. Family tried to hide it. It's just sad. And so now you see that same spirit rear up when you hold black men accountable, even for the stuff they doing. Even when it comes to violating children, black folks are still saying, but what about the white man? It's crazy. It's crazy. Black people are atheists because they believe they are oppressed. If you believe that you are oppressed, then that means God doesn't exist. It's simple. If you believe that another human being is superseding God's will for your life, then you are an atheist. You don't believe in God, because you can't say I am oppressed, but God is real. That doesn't make any sense. So most black people say they are oppressed. If you are oppressed, you don't believe in God. It's just that simple. I'm sorry. Let me rewind a little bit.
It's our black ass grandfather. It's our black ass mama's boyfriend. Shit, it might be your black ass mama. So that's why we're not talking about the white man. You're going to talk about the white man. We're going to talk about the men and women that are doing this shit to us. And it ain't the white man, okay? So keep on talking if you want to. Like I said, I've removed like 30 motherfuckers. Know where you are. It's not about being on Michi's page. I am a victim of sexual assault by several men in my life, okay? Just like many black girls. Save that fucking shit for somebody else's page and get off mine. So when you...
And again, and you're right, Magdaleno CDs, you're right that sexual abuse happens within the family most of the time. That is true. The difference is that if we like, the difference is that nobody disputes this. The problem is when it comes to black accountability. So what she's saying is she knows plenty of black girls that have been molested by their family members, traumatized, and nobody wants to speak about it because you don't want to look bad in front of white people. This is insane to me. Black folk been trying to save face for years, meanwhile leaving a trail of destruction behind them. I talked to several black women that have been touched as a child. It's insane. Grown men touching them in the black community, and the adults around tried to hide it, didn't say nothing. This is crazy. So I ain't letting it ride. Somebody got to say something. These black men have been getting by for years because of the white man. No, the buck stops here. We ain't do that over here. The white man ain't making y'all do nothing. Nothing. The white man ain't making Brother Polight do this. The white man ain't making Rashad Jamal do this. The white man ain't making the Nature Boy do this. The white man ain't making y'all do nothing. None of this deviant y'all doing. So again, she said something that is true. And all these black men being brought up on their sexual deviance opens up wounds for a lot of these black women. Opens up suppressed wounds. Women that had been traumatized for years behind this stuff. And then when you finally see somebody getting justice, you got a bunch of black men defending them. You know how hurtful that is? I actually feel Michi X on this. Do you know how hurtful it is for you to see a man finally getting his just dues? You done seen all these men escape punishment, and you finally see one getting his just dues, and you got a bunch of black men defending him. It's actually sick. It's actually sick and disgusting, and it's cowardly. I don't respect it. I don't respect it. I don't believe in giving anybody an excuse, especially a man. And the problem is that black men have an excuse. It's the white man's fault. Not here. Here it's going to be your fault. No, we shouldn't. We got to stop hiding this stuff, man. Somebody got to have the courage to talk real to black people. It's too much pity patting with black folks, too much placate. I ain't doing all that stuff, man. Y'all heathens. I ain't talking nice to y'all. Oh, y'all the gods, y'all the Moors, y'all indigenous, y'all the original, y'all the Hebrew. I know. Y'all black. And until y'all do otherwise, behave otherwise, think otherwise, act otherwise, you black.
You say some dumb shit and my shit don't come down your feed no more, that's why. Because I'm just removing you bitches every time you show yourself. Thank you very much. Keep showing yourselves so I can get all you degenerates the fuck off my page, okay?
Again, I'm going to play this second half again, what she said.
to save white children and white women from the abuse that is given to them by their men. Why the fuck will we take on that fight? It's amazing to me how the black community always wants to bring up white people but take no fucking accountability for the shit that we do. We don't want to talk about the white people because it's not the white person that molested us, nigga. It's our black ass uncle. It's our black ass grandfather. It's our black ass mama's boyfriend. Shit, it might be your black ass mama. So that's why we're not talking about the white man. You gonna talk about the white man. We're gonna talk about the men and women that are doing this shit to us. And it ain't the white man, okay? So keep on talking if you want to. Like I said, I've removed like 30 motherfuckers. Know where you are. It's not about being on Michi's page. I am a victim of sexual assault by several men in my life, okay? Just like many black girls. Save that fucking shit for somebody else's page and get off mine. So when you say some dumb shit and my shit don't come down your feed no more, that's why. Because I'm just removing you bitches every time you show yourself. Thank you very much. Keep showing yourselves so I can get all you degenerates the fuck off my page, okay?
So, again, I feel Michi X on this because I know that she's been traumatized behind this, and where a man was supposed to stand up and protect, where a man was supposed to stand up and comfort, where a man was supposed to stand up and be a leader, where a man was supposed to stand up and be a protector, they didn't. And so again, at the trail of black children being traumatized, it's going to start with a man, more likely than not. Either the absence of a man or the presence of a man. The man's gonna be the common denominator. And so I do fear her on this, and it's sad because I hear this story so often in the black community of how black girls are touched by men who's supposed to be protecting them and loving them. So again, I don't have any sympathy for none of these black men. I'm gonna hold y'all accountable. So I don't really care. I just know y'all have a bunch of excuses, but not here. I'm not the Shade Room. I ain't Hollywood Unlocked. I ain't Revolt TV. That ain't me. I ain't no liberal. I ain't no bliggity black. I'm holding y'all accountable. Right is right and wrong is wrong. Rosen says, to be honest, any person that was raised in poverty, quote unquote, black upbringing, they're probably not a good person. To be honest, how could they be? That's like running a white cloth through mud and expecting it to be clean. So what most black folks do is most black folks believe that their environment determines their character. It's not true. This is what black folks believe, is that their environment is causing them to be this way, and it's not true. If that was the case, then you wouldn't have any success stories. Everybody black would be a degenerate. It's not true. Character is a choice that you make every day. It is a choice that you make every single day. Because even though you're in the hood, you know selling drugs is wrong. You know killing is wrong. You know lying, cheating, and stealing is wrong. You know this stuff is wrong. You only justify because you're giving yourself an excuse. This is why the excuses are the tools of Satan. Satan says use the excuse to justify what you're doing, not God. God says, be ye perfect like your Father is in heaven. That's what the Messiah said. I have time for one more. And I had time for one more, but I'm going to let me see if this is it.
Each human being has a certain genetic code, which means you come with certain epigenetic knowledge encoded into who you are. It means you have certain skills. You already have certain trauma embedded into you through epigenetic trauma of your parents. And if you just study them first, then you'll know what's in you.
Yeah.
Right? So before you go study a subject in college, study your parents.
Yep.
Right?
I don't know why this. I don't want to talk about this. I'm trying to listen to him anyway. I think it's this one.
Black people are the real God.
Are the real gods. I'm telling you guys, you are gods and goddesses. Now, I've also been telling you that human beings. That means if you're human beings, I don't know if you're your first time watching me or not, but human beings are people that are Caucasian, Asians, Mexicans, Dravidians, and Arabs. All right. I've never talked down on y'all. Y'all just can't accept the truth. Listen, if you listen to me, you really listen to what I'm telling you. I've been telling you that you were created by Zeus and that you were made in our image and that we reverse engineered the technology that Zeus did for you. So at the end of the day, we are y'all gods and y'all supposed to actually pray to us. Y'all are supposed to worship us. And y'all supposed to, right, come on our...
This man just said that white, now listen, he is in prison for 16 years for child molestation. Rashad Jamal. This man just said that you all are supposed to pray to us and worship us, talking to white people, talking to every other race except quote unquote black. Could you imagine if the world right now, if the world was worshiping and praying to black people? Could you imagine the state of the world? Could you just think about this for a second? Could you imagine the whole world praying and worshiping black people? Could you imagine that? This man just said, you all are supposed to be praying to us and worshiping us. And this same guy is in prison for 16 years for child molestation. So how do we go from him being a god to him being a child molester? How? That's a big gap. How do we go from I'm a god to I'm getting 16 years in prison for messing with children? I'll tell you how. Because what he's saying isn't true. The Bible says that a good tree can't bear bad fruit, and a bad tree can't bear good fruit. So if what he's saying is true, it would bear a good fruit. There's a reason why all these esoteric, black conscious individuals don't have any character. There's a reason why they're sexual deviants. There's a reason why. It's because the devil told them, you ain't got to worship God. You ain't got to worship me. Just worship yourself. And if a person worships themselves, they'll never see the fault in themselves. This man just said that all the other races should bow down and worship black people. And could you imagine what the world would be if these folks said, we don't need the Bible, we don't need God, let's turn to black folks? Could you imagine? But you can't, you can't imagine it? The Antichrist. That's what the Antichrist is going to be. The world worshiping blackness. Let's continue.
Our side. And the human beings I'm talking to specifically pray to us. Y'all are supposed to do for you. So at the end of the day, we are y'all gods. And y'all supposed to actually pray to us. Y'all are supposed to worship us. And y'all supposed to, right, come on our side. And the human beings I'm talking to specifically are you poor and middle class white people and Mexicans and Arabs and Dravidians. Y'all know who y'all is. The ones that walk amongst us every day. That we see every day. You know what I'm saying? The ones that they make us think it's y'all. But y'all don't really run the shit. You know what I'm saying? Right now, in the country, like no bullshit. This is the time, if you are a human being and you're not racist, you need, hear me clearly, I'm warning y'all. It don't matter if you delete the live, y'all. None of that matters right now. All right? My vibration is going to be felt through the planet. Well,
so as I close up, on behalf of all of the men who did not apologize to you all for doing you wrong, I apologize, because I realize that men not being men have done our women a great disservice. And I apologize in my life for not doing what I should have been doing, for being a bad example, for not leading and for not protecting. Because I see what those seeds that were sown, what they've sprouted up to be. And what we have is a nation of people following a bunch of men who mean them to do harm, a bunch of men who literally believe in death, destruction, and damnation. So I do apologize for them ladies. I apologize in the past. I was really hard on y'all because I was convinced that it was just y'all. But the more I've done self-reflecting and the more I've looked into what's really going on, I realize that these men have done y'all a great disservice. Even my father with myself, a great disservice. Because when the man is not in a position of leadership, when the man has an excuse, he's going to turn on the women and children. He's going to turn against his very own. So that's why when you see most of these men, they don't have a purpose. They're not following God. They become destructive. Now it may not look like destruction as far as just spinning the block or tearing the streets up, but destruction in the fact that they're not going to be in their right position. The proper order is God, man, woman, and child. What these men have done has literally removed God out of the equation. So now it's just the man wreaking havoc, and he's not going to have a purpose. So he's already going to be like a rogue beast. He's not going to value the woman because part of his purpose is the woman. He won't value the child, which is part of his legacy, which is part of his purpose. So again, these men have done you all a great disservice. Now, y'all shouldn't have picked a lot of them, but I do understand that a lot of y'all were traumatized from day one. And I apologize for y'all. That's why I started this series, Where Are the Men of Faith? Because I realized that if a man doesn't have faith in God, he's going to have faith in the world. And if he has faith in the world, he can't be used by God. He's going to work for Satan. That's what you see. And so all this defense of Brother Polight and defense of Rashad Jamal and defense of Umar Johnson and defense of the Nature Boy and all the defense of these men, defense of MLK, the defense of Barack Obama, the defense of Marcus Garvey, Elijah Muhammad, all the defending of these men really highlights how these black men have been all this time. Because there's no way you can hear these stories or the things these men have done and you not be outraged that these men were portraying themselves a certain way. You would, like, to me, you have to be outraged by it. Like, how dare these men be this wicked and evil and come in front of our face if they were righteous? Like, you would be upset and outraged. But the fact that you black men are defending these guys tells me everything. It tells me that these black women wasn't lying. They're telling the truth about y'all. It's disgusting and it's sick. Anyway, I love y'all. Let me go through these super stickers real quick. Thank you, Rick Hempstead, for the super sticker. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Thank you, Mo Coy, for the super sticker. These hoteps are grotesque. They reject the scriptures, but find it convenient to assume the age that Mary was estimated to be at Jesus' birth, 14. Right. Thank you, Arita from the Bay, for the super sticker. Thank you so much. Thank you, Pamela Calhoun, for the super sticker. I thank you so much. Listen, I love you all. Thank you so much. These videos are done not to just condemn these men, because they should be condemned and rejected, but it's also to hopefully allow us to heal and come together. It's not about what was done to us, it's about us overcoming what was done to us. We overcome those things through Christ. And so I would be wrong if I didn't tell you all that your healing rests in the Messiah. That's where your healing is. And the choices that we've made in our lives don't condemn us to a life sentence, but we also have to be accountable of the things that we've done and also hold others accountable to have spread destruction and chaos. I will always start with the men because the men set the standards and the men are leadership. So I will always go to the men first. So I'm going to always skip past the children and the women and go right to the men because they are the ones to be accountable. But anyway, I love you all, and I thank y'all so much. I honestly believe there are a lot of good people in the world. I do. I see it every day. I don't think the world is, listen, the world is bad, but the world's also good. I see a bunch of good people every single day, willing to help, willing to be a blessing. I see it all the time. So, you know, I'm not going to say that the world is just totally bad and it's evil. There's a lot of good people in the world, a lot of folks that are helpful. So, yeah, I'm very thankful for all the people that helped me in my life and been a blessing to me. So I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to condemn everybody. Everybody's not evil and wicked. There are still good people in the world. It is. But anyway, I love you all. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. And well, there is good because there are good people, and there's bad because there's bad people. It's nothing to do with race. This whole race thing is a tool used by Satan. And at the end of this whole race narrative, the goal is for us not to come together and fight the real enemy. The whole purpose of this race stuff is for us not to come together and fight this real enemy. That's the only reason for it. They got black folks thinking that white people are racist, and they got white folks thinking that black folks is beyond help. So that's what the narrative is, and so that's the enemy's goal, is to get us to not just black and white, but everybody, Asian, Hispanic. The goal is to keep people divided, but Satan knows if I can keep black and white divided, nobody will unify. So the real racial story or racial conflict between white and black. The devil knows if I can keep them separated, nothing else really matters. So again, it's all a tool by the devil. So anyway, I love y'all, and I thank y'all so much. Thank you, Agatis Navi. Thank you. This girl is funny. But I thank y'all so much for tuning in. And fellas, these women, I don't care how they act, they still need us to be men. So I don't care if women want to be independent, they want to be queens, they want to be black girl magic and all that. Amidst all the chaos and the feminism, men still have to be men because men got to set the standard. So this is what it is. That's our task as a leader. Anyway, I love you all, and I thank y'all so much. And I will see you all on tomorrow with Cutting Through the Culture, and I will see you all after that probably on Monday. I love y'all. Thank y'all so much.